Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Today's topic of discussion, inshallah, it's going to be on ethical leadership, ethical principle per se. Last time we talked on ethical leadership, we were able to go it in 3 different stages. We said that's what we call leading self, leading others, and cultural leadership. And inshallah, today we're going to talk more on leading self alone. And we said there are 4 different processes under leading self. 1, we have learning system. 2, integrity system. 3, vision system. And last but not least was an enterprise system. And inshallah, we're going to shed more light on learning system alone. And like I told you the other time when we were talking about learning system, we said it's not about you going to school, learn a book. Yeah, it's a very good thing too. But in this video, we're going to encourage you not only extracurricular activities, you need to fast through you need not only curricular activities, you need to learn to pass through extracurricular activities too, because at a point now these days in this modern world, degree owns no value on its own. You need to learn so many skills coupled with your curricular activities for you to get to the right destination. And one thing we said before then, we said everybody is a leader, whether you're a political office holder, you're leading an organization, you're a CEO there, you're a family man, you're moving on a straight. Don't think it's when you get certain responsibilities that you're a leader. Personally, within you, within the circle of your control, within the circle of your influence, you're a leader one way or the other, so you cannot do away with it. And one thing I said, leadership, it's a skill. It's not about like, okay, nobody born as a leader. Leaders are not born, they are made. So anything that is made automatically, it's a skill. You can learn it. It's something you can learn. So you need to pass through learning system. Understand that, okay, yes, I'm equal to the task. I can rule organization, I can lead organization, I can make a difference, I can make a community work. Like I told you when we were talking about enterprise system, I said whenever you're in a society where you feel like, okay, the system doesn't work, okay, it's not up to your own expectation, it's not where you wanted it to be, then you make it work. You need to find a way of making the society work. So these are some of the things we need to consider. And the first thing you need to consider under leading self is self-awareness. And self-awareness, there's one vital question you need to ask yourself, which is the question of, okay, why do I need to learn myself? Why do I need to know myself? Why do I need to know myself? Why do I need to lead myself? This is one of the vital questions you need to ask yourself. Well, there are only 2 ways you need to do that. There are only 2 answers why you ought to know yourself. 1, it's only when you know yourself that you would be able to identify your abilities, that's your strength, and your own weaknesses, that's your disabilities per se. So if you didn't know yourself, you cannot identify these 2 things, and it's a question of SWOT analysis. Knowing your strength, knowing your weaknesses, knowing your opportunities, knowing your threats. So that's why it's a paramount important for you to understand such kind of situations for your own convenience as an individual, as an effective leader. Build yourself. You can build your strength or your abilities through what we call self-improvement. Self-improvement, it's like a stage for you to understand that, okay, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I'm good at this. This is one of the things I need to build. You need to keep building it. You need to master it every day. Maybe if it takes you through constant practices, if it takes you through so many things, you need to learn or to find a solution, to find a way of mastering what you do best. Because so many times, or more often, it's not the question of, okay, I'm the best. No, it's the question of doing what you're doing best. So this is one of the things you need to identify. And when we're talking about your weaknesses, you need to engage yourself in the company of people, in the company of others who would help you balance your own weaknesses. Because weaknesses, wallahi, it's one of the biggest disadvantages that brought about a negative or squeeze in your own development, or a development of a nation, or a development of a community and an entirety. So an effective leader or effective leaders always consider the good and interest of their people, the good of other people, other than their own self-interest. They always help to rub shoulders with other people who will make them to the right destination, who will help them or who will see them up to the right destination. So these are some of the things you need to identify within yourself and master your own strength, because you always need to be considering the good of others, the good of your community, the good of your organization, the good of your country, the good of the masses of greater moment than your own personal interest. So sometimes, more often in this part of the world, our leaders, the so-called leaders, when I'm just diagonizing from the main perspective. When we're talking about leaders in this perspective, we're talking about those that are in position of power. Because we are in democratic era, we are in democratic dispensation. You cannot do politics, decide everything we do in this democratic era. So they don't want, or they've already mastered the art of making themselves in the right or the best position, them and their family, immediate families. So they don't want you to understand the true structure, the true learning system, the true learning self, because they cannot allow you to get the same educational requirement in your own Nigerian institutions compared to the other institutions that their sons and daughters go to abroad to study. So they will let you understand that, because if you understand the true structure, the true learning system as an effective leader, automatically it's going to help you to demand mandatory accountability. That's what they don't want. They don't want you to demand such mandatory accountability for you to understand that, okay, what they are doing in the office is not the right thing. What they are doing in the office is not the needful. So such kind of things that are happening over and over again, it's like an insanity. So if you want to become an effective leader, you need to pass through true educational system, true learning system, not only educational system, true but curricular and extracurricular system, knowing your country well, knowing the constitution of your country, knowing the culture, knowing the true and core values of your country. These are some of the things you need to pass through. And let me tell you, there are negative consequences if you didn't meet up to your own weaknesses. Let's take like some examples of the weaknesses of our leader. Like if you're talking about legislative duties, there's lack of understanding of the delegation. If your representative doesn't know the true structures, the true understanding, the true what it takes to know how truly to lead organization or to delegate an organization, automatically there won't be delegation. There will not be delegation. This is one of the behaviors that do happen, and it do happen so normal in our community. So when there's no delegation, automatically there will be negative development in your community. There won't be development. There will be developmental squeeze automatically. So for that, you cannot go anywhere within the community, within the society. It's because most of our leaders, they fail to understand their own weaknesses. They fail to strengthen their strength. They fail to understand the true values that they're supposed to place. So more often they do place value where they ought not to. So one of the consequences is lack of development. It's there. People are going to suffer discrimination. There will be lack of initiative. So many things. You see people or leaders acting like they don't understand anything about legislation. They have poor representation in the chambers. So many things are going to happen. There are major setbacks that you cannot meet up without meeting up with your own weaknesses. So these are some of the things you need to understand, and let your people understand that these are compulsory. So there are so many traits you need to understand for effective leadership. One, it's how effective leadership. You all need to understand. One, there is high energy level and tolerance for stress, self-confidence, internal locus and control, emotional stability and maturity, need for power, personal integrity, achievement orientation, need for personal affiliation, technical skills, interpersonal skills, conceptual skills, and strategic management skills. These are some of the things you need to understand as an effective leader. Inshallah, when next we meet, to make this easier and simpler, inshallah, when next we meet, we're going to explain more things coupled to the mental structure to already established. May Allah make it easy for you and I. May Allah guide us right. May Allah ease the pain of life and make life easier for you and I. Thank you very much for your time. Share for others to enjoy the benefit. Thank you.